Thank you very much for your time, Simon, and that you attend this interview on business improvisation and sprints. Now, my first question is, could you introduce yourself? So who are you and what is your profession?
Thank you, Lucas, for having me here. Simon Severino. I am the founder and CEO of Strategy Sprints. We do one thing only, that's strategy in sprints. So we coach CEOs to do strategy. That means monthly revenue, less volatile, more reliable, and hopefully higher every month. And in sprints, that's the opposite of the traditional management way. It's the agile way of doing it in fast and short cycles so that the energy goes up instead of down, so that teams are motivated and they want to create and to ship more week after week.
So if you're saying sprints, what is a sprint in the business world?
Yeah, you know the sprint from the sports world and you know it from the agile world. So in the sports world, it's about periodization. That means you train for something, you think of the cycles of training and how you have to design the cadence of the training so that you are well prepared for the moment when it comes. So you are prepared to win in a moment that comes later, and you have the different cycles of intensity when you train. And the sprint part, regardless of if you're training for a marathon or a triathlon or even a half marathon, you will do 1 or 2 sprints per week, depending on your training cycle. And the sprint is the short, intense part, the interval training. Now, in the agile world, which is on team and product level, the sprint, for example, in the Scrum methodology, is a time-boxed unit of work where you try to limit the work in progress by time, and you try to prioritize it ongoing without milestones, ongoing and from the perspective of the client, that's the user stories. That was missing in strategy. So I was working with the executive level, with the boards and the strategy teams, and they didn't have such a methodology. So we had really boring, long meetings of blah, blah, blah. And we were all wasting our time. And in between, we would do a ton of number crunching with great numbers in spreadsheets. That was even the more efficient part, but it didn't at all integrate into the discussion and the decision making. So there was something missing, and strategy was really broken in that way. And many are still doing it that way, but we were not happy with it. So we said, what can we invent that stops wasting time for everybody and is as creative and as sprinty as it can be? So we invented the strategy sprint, which is a format of how to sprint, gaining market shares and improving your processes in short cycles of 7 days.
Now, in innovation, some people know what agile means and to create and co-create and so on. Now, some organizations think of strategy that they have a workshop of like a day or 2, they create the strategy and then it's done for the year. How do you perceive or how do you create strategies and why do you need so many sprints and to adapt the strategy so often?
Yeah, so the traditional model is twice a year, there's the big strategy retreat, and then there are some milestones of implementation and some main activities. And there is a project manager doing these main activities or a program manager if it's a bigger bucket of projects. And what usually happens is nothing happens. 80% of that gets lost because it is not translated to the organization. The people in the whole organization where the action really happens, they don't even hear it, they don't even see it, they don't even feel it. They get one paper or 3 slides, but they don't feel it, it's not theirs. So they don't live it every day. And then you have some values or some strategic initiatives, which are just a couple words without life. Now, the opposite, what we do is we coach the team like a sports coach would do. Now, if you get a sports coach and you're an athlete and you want to get better, you will work every week on form, fit, and function of your main areas. For the athlete, it's form, fit, and function of the nutrition system, the sleep system, the endurance training, the explosiveness training, strength training, and a couple of different things depending on the specific discipline they're in. Now, for the CEO, this is working every week on form, fit, and function of your vision, your strategy, your marketing system, your CRM system, your sales system, your operations, your fulfillment, and your retainment system, at least. And that's what we do in the strategy sprint. It's a 90-day period of 3 months with 3 very specific goals that we want to achieve. And these 3 months get broken down in 4 times 1 week. And that's the periodization, very hard word for me, this periodic intensive work, which is always in very small slices of 7 days. So we go for big things, but we slice them down in very small steps, and we measure every week, both the activities and the outcomes. So-called leading and lagging indicators are measured all the time. And that's the sprint style. We want a feeling in the team like Angry Birds. You do something and then it says 500 points. You do something, it says 800 points. You do something, it says 900 points. You do something, it says 350. Oh, what's going on there? Hey, you feel immediately that there is something wrong. And then everybody can go there and investigate and find out and improve. But you need this direct feedback, because that's how life is. You want to feel it. You want to be in it. And the opposite is some program that is 6 months or 12 months, and you even forgot that you are part of that program because it's so long until the next measurement.
Now that sounds, especially 90 days, of a real training program. So what do people learn in these 90 days of sprinting, and what skills do they learn?
Yeah, it's interesting because some people say it's a training program. One of our clients said it's the Netflix of business, but the training part is only really a byproduct, because we have a ton of videos and of templates because we want to help people get moving faster. Without the templates, they would need 3 weeks to start. With the templates, they need 7 minutes to start. That's why we build videos and we build templates. But it's not about training. Knowledge is not the bottleneck today. Technology is not the bottleneck anymore. Knowledge is not the bottleneck anymore. The only bottleneck right now is execution, because you have too many options. If you are running a business today, right now, you go running, you hear a podcast, you go on YouTube, you see a conference in Austin, and you have 17 ideas on what you can do to improve your business. You could do some growth hacking. You could do digital sales funnels. You could do PR. You could do this, you could do that. So you have too many options, and that's why you have problems in execution, because to execute, you need one priority. And everybody aligned on that. And for 7 days, this is what happens. And then you ship it, and then you measure the outcome. So what you learn in the program, even if it's not a training program, it's an accelerator for growth. But what you learn is a ton of things. You learn basically what you would learn in an MBA if it was there to help you grow a real business. So you learn how to do competitive analysis, how to act upon that finding quickly, how much market shares you can gain, how you can gain them, how you can gain market shares without even spending in ads. So how can you gain market shares with your existing leads? That means you learn how to double your sales conversion, you learn how to double your revenue in 90 days and to align all activities. You learn how to simplify your business. Most businesses are too complicated. They have too many services, too many products, and some of them are not even profitable. So you learn to really simplify what you do. And when it's so simple, you learn to pass by every day, to water it a little bit. And when you have something where you pass by every day and you water it, you might think now of your children, of your plants, of your garden, something where you give care, you give love every day. So you pass by and you give some form of nourishment, of nurturing. That thing grows and evolves and becomes an artwork. So that's what you learn there. Your business, to make it an artwork where you pass by every day, it gets better and better by 1%, maybe by 0.5% every day, but that compounds over the weeks and over the months.
Now, to me, it seems to be a very different mindset. So it's not just, adding another thing on the task list, another tool, another book, another course whatsoever, and rather go for one thing, focus on one thing. Is this the mindset of a sprinter, to have the one main objective?
The sprint mindset is to move forward as fully alive as possible. The animal metaphor is the cheetah, the sprinter in the animal kingdom. It's just move forward as fast and as naturally as possible. And you are built for limitless expansion. Every human being is built for limitless possibilities, for limitless expansion. You are the one limiting yourself. That's the starting point. When we look at what people are doing, and because we coach so many people, we see that they limit themselves by putting on too many projects, too much stuff. They are doing a little bit of everything all the time. And that's where we come in. And we had one client, he says, "Simon, you are my habit killer." And I said, "What is a habit killer?" And he said, "Every time I come with you with a plan, you say that's too complicated and you strip away 80% of it." And that's true. This is one thing that we try to help with. Find the core, find the essential, and do so much less. I have 2 kids. I have a wife, I have a life, and I have a global business with 34 sprinters rocking it. So, and I have also a life. So I want to do some sports and to do fun stuff with my family and with my friends. So if you try to do everything in business every day, the day is over like this. You have to focus on the most direct path to your success. In order to win, you have to find the most direct path and align all activities of all teams on that path. That's why you have a vision, and that's why you do the bottleneck analysis all the time, to find the one bottleneck right now. And if you solve that bottleneck, everything else will flow from there, because then you have virtuous cycles that reinforce themselves. But you have to solve one bottleneck after the other. If you try to solve 7 bottlenecks, you will have just frantic activities, but no impact. And that's what leads to burnout and to disengagement in teams. It's not working too much. It's not being prioritized.
Now, you mentioned the habit killer. What kind of skills do you need to really focus on the one thing that is the most essential for you?
It's so simple. At the end, it's simple. Everybody knows it. Everybody here in the room knows right now exactly what the right thing is to do. We all know it. My children woke up today at 5 o'clock in the morning. So sometimes they wake up very early. And they come to me and they ask me a question, and it's a very relevant question. It's just today, it was, why is the sky blue? We all have all the knowledge right now in us. So every manager, every CEO, everybody who runs a business right now, in their heart, they know exactly what is the right thing to do. The only problem is we have so many layers upon it, from society, from childhood, from different hypes of management that come and go. And we have seen many of them. Every 10 years you have a new hype. And so now people are on a couple of hypes, and they're on a couple of beliefs, and they think they have to do this. And if they are in regulated markets, they have even more regulations and laws that they have to apply to. But all these things are not the main things. The main thing is there, and you know it. You just need either to sit down for a couple hours and wait for it to clarify and to emerge, and then you have it. That's why we advise to do time in nature every day. If you can, walk in nature, run in nature, do stuff in nature every day in the middle of the day, because you need this clarity, this centering of yourself. You have all the answers if you listen to them. But we don't listen. We run around, we fly around. Now, right now in this COVID crisis, this is a great opportunity, because people have stopped flying around like crazy and running around like crazy. Now they sit down, and now they know exactly what's going on.
Now you're located in Vienna, Austria, but you have a global company. How do you do that to coach people and to support people to grow the business and so on? Is it all online? And what are the constraints of an online communication?
This is the beautiful part. We have these limitless possibilities, and we have a technological situation which makes it super cheap and super simple. You can run a global business, $1 million business, from just a phone, some phone. And how does it work? You need a couple of things. You need one cloud and really just a couple of systems, simple systems. So we rely, and it saves my life every day. So thank you, Google, for the Google Cloud, because it's wonderful. And I hear that there are also some other clouds that work, maybe. And then I have very simple systems. We have a project management system. It's Asana. We have a communication system. There are many good communication systems. We use Slack. Just not to send emails to each other, because emails can be very distracting. And then we have some personal systems of productivity. We use GTD, getting things done. For example, we try not to do emails in the morning, the first thing, and to do some deep work. We limit the amount of meetings, and if we have meetings, they are very short and very structured. And basically, that's it. We have some principles. The principles are focus, freedom, and flow. So everybody has not just tasks, but really a whole domain. And domain means there is a vision for the area. There are some KPIs. There is a growth plan for the areas. And then there are processes, how you lead the people there and how you hire people for your area. That's one thing. And then we do measure every 7 days and every 30 days, basically everything that we can measure, because we believe that everything that gets measured gets improved. I think it was Peter Drucker who said it for the first time. And you know, when you look at something regularly, of course, you give it more attention, you give it more energy, something improves there. So we measure whatever we can every 7 days and every 30 days. And the most important measurement are these activities and outcomes, leading, lagging indicators. And every 30 days, we measure the NPS. The NPS is what does the client really say about what works best, what doesn't work at all and needs improvement, what is missing, and would they recommend us to their friends and why? These are the basic questions that we ask every 30 days in an it's automated. And with this simple set of systems, and that's really cheap. Yeah, we are not talking infrastructure. We have no headquarter. Our headquarter is Google Drive. But we run business in 4 continents. So when we did the mastermind, we said, hey, people, there is a Corona crisis. CEOs, come together, let's talk. How can we manage the current situation? We had 4 continents in the room. So that's what this era makes possible. This is tremendous opportunities, and it's really fun to run business in this technological situation.